Okay, so a lot of today's focus, the majority of the focus is going to be on the arms. So let's begin sitting up. If you are really much happier lying down when you begin, that's okay. But if you're indifferent, feel free to sit up and you can place anything underneath your hips that you need to. Rest your hands palm down for now on your legs. Feel free to shift your legs as far forward as you want so that you feel more comfortable sitting up. But we're looking more for balance than a challenge. So you don't want to feel like you're working too much. And have a breath in when you're ready to. And as you breathe out, let your eyes drift shut. And notice if there's an inclination to fill the space. Notice if there's a call for productivity somewhere in you, or the feeling of waiting. Now, we're not going to attempt to change those. Not necessarily, they might change, they might shift. But see if instead you can let yourself sit with all the things that are coming up. In particular, any feeling of discomfort or dissatisfaction or any even unpleasant feelings about needing to do more or to get things done. Instead of making them stop, I would like for you just to feel every aspect of it, to sit with it, as if you just walked into the room, saw whatever it was sitting down, and you just sat right next to it and listened. And notice your breath as well. So that means there's attention being placed on more than one thing at a time. Let the focus in general be on going to your breath. Maybe allowing the exhales to become a little bit slower, a little bit easier. And when you become lost in thought, when you experience a sensation or an attitude or an atmosphere, whatever you want to call it, where there is wanting or discomfort or dissatisfaction in any way, any type of friction at all, take a moment to sit with it. And then go back to your breath whenever you're ready. And then let's play with the breath a bit as we prepare to move and to really investigate the shoulders, which means inevitably investigating the neck and the upper back some too, even really lower. But let's take some very deep inhales and exhales, as if you were challenging yourself to breathe in quite fully. Maybe not the biggest breath in for the first one you do. Just breathe in a little bit more fully. Maybe pause for a moment at the top. And then let the breath out. Slow down just the end of the exhale. And then maybe this next breath in is a little bit fuller. Pause at the top. Notice if you feel any differences on the right and left sides of your body. Let the breath out whenever you're ready, slowing down the end of the exhale. We're going to do that about 3 more times. Remember, what you're feeling is correct. There is no thing at all to fix. Breathe in quite deeply, as if you were filling up a balloon, the lower portion of the torso, the mid portion, even the upper portion. So you might feel something in your neck and shoulders when you get to the top. Maybe this time you take another sip and just hold it for 2 seconds. Noticing what you feel, and then exhale when you're ready, slowing down the end of the exhale. And again, inhaling, imagining you could fill up. Imagining you're accessing more lung tissue than you normally do. Hold it at the top, and any, again, sensation or thought of discomfort or anxiousness or dissonance of any sort, sit with it. And you can exhale when you're ready. Maybe for this last round, you squeeze a little more breath out before you inhale really fully, doubling the breath in. Taking another sip at the top, you might have to lift your shoulders. You might have to hunch over just a little bit. Take another sip and hold it for a second or 2 or 3 or 4. And let yourself feel your heartbeat, all the stuff going on. You are perfectly safe. You're perfectly safe. And just breathe out when you're ready. And as you're ready, blink your eyes a couple times. Let them stay open. And when you inhale next, kind of slowly, point your shoulders forward, up, and then back and down. Flip your palms up to face the ceiling. Exhale. Inhale, roll your shoulders forward and up, and exhale them back and down. Again. You might imagine the wheels of a train. One more time, shoulders go forward and up and back and down. Now keep your shoulders down, palms facing the ceiling. The hands can rest in your lap or on the floor. Take a breath in and find some balance. Head is basically in between the shoulders. When you breathe out, turn your face to the right. Turn your chin to the right. Inhale, feel your left shoulder blade move towards your right shoulder blade and turn your face a little more to the right. Notice how your neck feels. Inhale back to center. Exhale, pause. Inhale, roll your shoulders forward and up, and exhale back and down. Inhale, just find a little bit of balance. Exhale, turn your chin, and your nose, and your eyes to the left. Feel like you could take your right shoulder blade and move it towards your left one, and then turn your face a little more to the left. Notice your breath. Exhale as you're ready. Inhale, come on back to center. And exhale, relax. Interlace the fingers in front of you. Take a breath in, and then push the heels of your hands towards the wall in front of you and slowly up towards the ceiling. And breathe out. Feel as though you could squeeze your elbows a little in towards each other. Inhale, notice the sense of inflation across your ribcage and lift your shoulders up. Exhale, maybe lift your face. Inhale. And exhale, push your hands a little higher. Now inhale, point your nose forward. And exhale, let your elbows bend. Keep your fingers interlaced. You might have to adjust them some. Inhale here, and then exhale with your elbows bent still. Take your arms back a little. Take a breath in, elbows moving back in space some. Exhale, straighten your arms a little. Inhale, bend them some. Exhale, straighten them some. Pushing the thumb side to the ceiling. Inhale, bend one more time. Exhale, straighten one more time. And then inhale to turn your palms to face each other. And exhale, settle your hands down. And then towards the floor behind you, interlacing your fingers there. Go ahead and tuck your chin. But when you're ready, inhale, root the knuckles down towards the floor. And then exhale, lift your hands up a little bit and see what you feel. Take a breath in. Notice if you can let and feel the belly move. Breathe out. Lift the pinky sides of your hands. Now inhale, let your hands relax down, back towards your sacrum, back towards the floor. Unlace just your thumbs and your forefingers. So you're making a steeple shape, let's call it, with the forefingers, the thumbs. Inhale, push your fingertips towards the floor. Exhale, see if you can straighten your elbows some, and then push the heels of the hands towards each other gently. Inhale, lift your arms again. And exhale, pause. Lift, lift, lift. Inhale, keep your arms up, but lift your face up as well. Notice what you feel. Exhale. Take a breath in and out whenever you're ready. This is some pretty deep movement in the shoulders. Some pretty intense extension in the shoulders. And then relax your arms down. As you're ready to make your way onto hands and knees, take your time. Remember, even though the emphasis is on the arms today, we're still going to do some stuff with the rest of the body. So it'll be mostly arms, a little bit everything else, but you'll really notice how engaging and opening the arms affects all the other stuff. So when you're ready to, again from hands and knees, take a breath in, push your hands into the floor. And when you breathe out, almost as if you were going into cat pose, feel as though you can move your shoulder blades away from each other. So when you do this, a lot of the muscle in this kind of sides and a little in the front of the rib cage and chest start to activate some. You might drop your head a little. You can if you want to. Inhale, and then when you exhale, feel like you can move your shoulder blades towards each other. Just see how it feels. Have another breath. Remember, you don't have to go to your maximum range of motion. You really don't. Good. Now let's move. When you're ready to, breathe in, bring your back to neutral. Breathe out, move your shoulder blades away from each other, maybe drop your head. Breathe in, bring your back to neutral, point your nose forward. Breathe out, feel like you could draw your shoulder blades in towards each other, like you had a piece of fruit, like a cherry in between them and you're trying to crush it. Inhale, neutral back. Exhale, shoulder blades away from each other. Inhale, neutral back. Exhale, shoulder blades towards each other. And when you're ready, inhale, neutral back. And then exhale, walk your hands a little bit further forward. So you don't have to have a super, super bendy lower back here. If it bothers your lower back, just push your hips back in space. You might even tuck your tailbone a little bit. But let's see if we can drop the chest down towards the floor in what's often called puppy pose. You can let your feet get closer to each other. You can do whatever you need so your back feels better here. But let's just do 3 cycles of breath. You might have your forehead down. Maybe your chin is moving towards the floor, whatever you like best. But breathe into your arms as if you could actually put the breath right there. And breathe out, maybe relax into the stretch a little more. And then go ahead and make your way back up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up into downward dog. Take a breath in here and have a breath out, nice and easy. Inhale, bring the shoulders over the wrists as if you were about to do a push-up plank pose. Now, a lot of the muscles that are on and help to move and control the arms and the back are muscles where you push. So like right now, push your hands into the floor. A lot of the other muscles are pull muscles. So anytime you pull something towards you, imagine you were pulling the floor up into your hands. Notice your breath. So push the hands into the floor, breathe in and breathe out. Push down with your hands. Now breathe in again. Imagine you could pull the floor up into your arms and breathe out. Pull, pull, pull. One more breath in. Exhale, lower your knees. From here, breathe in and exhale. Let your elbows just drift to the floor. Inhale, climb back up onto your hands. Maybe the shoulders shift forward a little bit, if that feels good on your wrists. And exhale, let your hips drop back some. Let your elbows drop towards the floor. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, drop the elbows back. Now let's make it just a tiny bit more vigorous so we can play with and work with some stamina, some endurance. Inhale, lean into your fingertips. Exhale, squeeze your hands in towards each other. Lower your elbows towards the floor. Squeeze in towards each other. Inhale, shift forward. Maybe the shoulders come over the fingertips. Exhale, squeeze your hands and arms in. Lower your elbows towards the floor. Inhale just one more time, and only squeeze in so far as feels good on your wrists, of course. And then exhale, elbows, hands squeeze in as you lower your elbows towards the floor. When you're ready to lift yourself up to hands and knees and back into downward dog. Inhale, lift the heels up. Exhale, pushing your hands down and forward. Feel as though you can move your chest towards your knees. Let your knees bend a little bit. Push the hands down and forward. Drop the head when you can, so your gaze is maybe right at the belly button or in between the knees. And push, push, push your hands down. Maybe when you exhale, you straighten your legs a little bit. Keep your upper body for the most part where it is. And eventually lower your heels towards the floor. Let's travel up to the front of the mat and fold forward. Inhale, lift your back up some, gaze forward. Exhale, climb the hands above the knees to the thighs. Push yourself up to stand. Take your time, find your breath. Let's interlace the fingers behind the back again, unlacing, if you can, the thumbs and the forefingers. And when you're ready to, feel the feet push into the floor, feel your fingertips and your knuckles root down towards the floor, and then feel your breath. You don't have to have the heels of the hands together if it hurts to do so, or if you start to feel numbing or tingling in your shoulders, but do feel your arms lift up and feel your breath. So breathe in here. And then when you breathe out, this is tricky, this is fun, bend your elbows a little bit. Moving the thumbs up towards your sacrum. Inhale, reach your fingers towards the floor, straighten the elbows. Exhale, bend them a little. Inhale, reach towards the floor. Exhale, bend them. Inhale, reach towards the floor. Exhale, relax your arms. You can shake out your hands if you want to, roll your shoulders around. So from here, take a breath in. Maybe the hands come to the hips. When you breathe out, bend your knees a little bit and hinge your torso forward just a little, as if you were standing on the edge of something, you were trying to see what was over it. And then let your arms just dangle by your sides. Imagine you were holding something pretty heavy in each hand and give it a squeeze. When you're ready, take a breath in. And when you breathe out, drive your elbows up towards the ceiling, squeeze your fists. Inhale here, squeeze all the muscles of your arms, and then straighten your fists behind you, exhale. Inhale, bend the elbows, nudge your elbows up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release your arms, you can shake them out. Take a breath in, imagine you had a weight in your hand. You might even one day put hand weights in your hands. Exhale, drive the elbows towards the ceiling. Inhale, straighten your arms. Exhale, bend them. Let them drag down towards the floor. Relax. One more time, bend the elbows towards your sides. Straighten the elbows, really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your fists. Lift your chest up some. Exhale, bend the elbows again. Let your arms drop down towards the floor. Let your body fold. Inhale, lift the back up some, look forward. Release your fingertips to the floor. Step the left foot back. When you're ready to, spin the back heel down for warrior two. Open your arms out into that T shape. So take a breath in from here and take a breath out. Inhale, reach your hands away from each other. And exhale, squeeze the muscles of your arms in and up. Let's make some circles with the hands, small circles at first. And then small circles in the other direction. Feel your shoulder blades on your back. Feel as if you were standing quite tall. Maybe keep your nose pointed to the right. Make bigger circles, but switch directions. Notice how your back feels. Squeeze the muscles of your arms. Keep the circles just as big as they are now for the most part. Switch directions. And now make even bigger circles, real big ones. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your arms. Switch directions. And then go ahead and reach your arms out to a T. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale, let your feet become parallel. Bend your elbows like a goalpost. Inhale, bring the arms towards each other behind you. Squeeze the muscles of your arms. Exhale, bring the arms towards each other in front of you, like closing doors. Inhale, open the arms out like a cactus. Squeeze them in towards each other behind you. Exhale, bring them close to each other in front of you. Inhale back. One more time. Exhale in. And then inhale out to a T. Bend your front knee, warrior two. Turn the front palm, lean over the back leg, reverse warrior. Bring your fingertips to the floor and step back into plank pose. From here, breathe in, lift your butt up a little bit, like you're stuck between downward dog and plank pose. Breathe out. When you're ready, inhale, and then exhale, let your elbows dip down towards the floor. They don't have to come all the way down, and then you'll straighten them when you're ready. And then lower them. Straighten them. Lower them. Straighten them. Lower them. Straighten them. Bring your weight forward into your hands. Plank pose. Lower the knees. When you're ready, breathe in and exhale. Squeezing in with the thumb side of the hands. Bend your elbows and lower your chest a few inches. And then push the floor away. Push yourself back up. Lower your chest a few inches. Push the floor away. Push yourself back up. One more time. Downward dog. And travel up to the front of your mat. Fold forward, relax. Inhale, lift the back up some, look forward. Release your fingertips to the floor, send the right foot back. Spin the right heel down, warrior two. So you're turned out to face the right side of the room. Arms are out to a T, take your time. Bend the left knee. You might keep your nose lined up with your sternum, so your torso and your face that wall. You might look towards your left hand, and let's make small circles with both hands. Notice your breath. Small circles in the other direction. You can switch directions. Make the circles a little bigger. Notice how you feel in your upper back. Keep your arms real straight, manageably straight. Switch directions. Make your circles quite big for a few. Squeeze your arms, squeeze your arms, squeeze your arms. Switch directions if you haven't yet. Big circle, squeeze your arms. And then let your arms drop. Straighten your legs, turn the feet so they're parallel to each other. So reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Good. Now imagine there were these giant ropes on the ceiling, or ribbons or something, or scarves, and they were pretty stuck to the ceiling. Grab onto those imaginary scarves with your hands. Take a breath in, and then again, find some resistance there. So they're stuck to the ceiling, but pull them down. Pull those imaginary scarves or ropes down by your sides, down by your hips. And then let your hands release. Inhale, reach your arms up, grab those imaginary ropes. Exhale, squeeze them, pull them down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, squeeze them, pull them down. Really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze your arms. One more time, reach up. Maybe look up. Pull onto those ropes, squeeze, 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 pull your arms down. Open back out into warrior two. Left knee bent, arms to a T. And reverse warrior, lean over the back leg. Bring your fingertips to the floor. Step back. Plank pose, but put your knees down. And then you're going to separate your knees, separate your feet pretty far apart. And after you do, you're going to lean your weight into your hands. So the knees are far apart for a reason. That's going to help you balance. When you're ready, feel your left hand plug into the floor. Feel so you could pull the floor up to your arm, and then reach your right arm forward. And put the right hand down, exhale. Take your time with this arm. Really see how your right arm feels. Push, push, push your hand down. Reach your left arm forward and down. We're going to do that a few times. If it's too much, just keep your hands on the floor. Otherwise, plug the left hand into the floor. Lift your right arm up and down. Left arm up and down. One day, not today, one day, you'll lift your knees up while you do this. One at a time, one arm up. Don't let the body sway side to side. And down, other arm up and down. And the next time you lower your left hand to the floor, lower your knees after, if they were up. And then lower your hips, child's pose. Inhale, shift your weight forward into your hands. One last time, 3 more push-ups. Remember, try to lower your whole torso at once, but you only have to lower a couple of inches. And then push yourself up. Eventually you'll lower 3 inches, eventually 4, but we're trying to do this progressively, not too much. And maybe one day you lower with your knees up. You can always put them down to push yourself back up. But eventually, pretty soon, come all the way down onto your belly and then place your forearms to the floor in front of you. Sphinx pose. Press down with your feet. Lift your chest up. Feel as though you can move the front of the pelvis towards the front of your mat and your lower back towards the ceiling. Breathe. Go ahead and relax. Walk the hands in a little bit. Inhale, lift yourself back up. Doesn't matter how high you lift, make sure it feels good on your back, even if that means you're really low, and feel your shoulder blades move down the back. Feel so you could lift your lower back. It's counterintuitive. Lift your lower back towards the ceiling. And relax. Exhale. Reach the arms behind you again. Interlace your fingers again. Lift the arms. If you can, lift your chest. You don't have to have your thumbs and forefingers interlaced unless you want to. Notice your breath. Maybe one day you'll lift the legs too. And you can stay here. You can lower and lift. Lower and lift. If that level of activity, of movement, suits your mood better. But eventually relax all the way back to the floor. Climb up to hands and knees. And then onto your tush, so sit down. Bring the feet to the floor in front of you, the hands to the floor behind you. And when you're ready to, push down with your hands. And just the tiniest bit, lift your butt up off of the floor. Good. Don't worry about anything, but certainly don't worry about where your hips go. Just bend your elbows a little tiny bit, and then straighten your arms a lot. Bend your elbows a little, straighten them a lot. Lift your chest. Bend them a little, straighten them a lot, and then maybe, if you want to, you lift your hips a little as well. One more breath, maybe 2. And then come on down. And sit with your ankles crossed. Reach your right arm up. Bend the right elbow, grab onto it with your left hand, and just nudge that elbow over to the left. If you'd like to try, and this would be a good practice for it, maybe take your left hand behind you and clasp your shirt or your fingers. And breathe in, and breathe out. Perhaps fold a little. You can adjust your legs into any leg position you want to. But slow down your exhales. And sit back up. Release your arms. Left arm up. Bend the elbow, fingertips moving towards the back of the neck. Grab that left elbow with your right hand and just gently nudge it over to the right. So I'm lifting that left shoulder blade. And maybe you reach your right arm behind you, grabbing your shirt or your fingertips. Notice where your head and your neck are pointing. See if you can point them forward. Take a breath in. And if it suits, if it feels okay in your shoulders, hinge forward a little bit. Sit back up. Release your arms. And let's make our way onto the back. With the arms out to a T, drop your knees over to the right for a breath. Drop your knees over to the left for a breath. Come on back to center. Shavasana. Legs forward. Arms by your sides. Eyes drift closed. Imagine your whole body just got the message to let go. Every skeletal muscle you have, every cell of every skeletal muscle just got the signal to release. And whatever comes up, sit with it, really like you just pulled a chair up next to it, sat down, and listened. Listen like it was the most interesting and important thing. Now take a big breath. Point your feet. Reach your arms away from your feet and fan out your fingers. Exhale. Relax everything again. Bend the knees. Take your elbows in towards your waist. Roll onto your right side. And then push the left hand into the floor. Stretch your left leg long to help you sit up with some more ease. And then cross the ankles. Close the eyes. And have this short moment to yourself. Just observing how every single thing comes and goes, but really notice, really pay attention to how everything goes. How no matter what you land on, eventually it subsides every time. And if you'd like to fold forward, take the hands behind you. Have one more slow, sweet breath in. And as you breathe out, relax forward.